In 2017, Meghan Markle appeared on the iconic Larry King live show for a conversation that would touch on the importance of advocacy, equality, and the power of women supporting each other. So I'm telling you guys, she's not new to this, she's true to this. Meghan is always advocating for women's empowerment, doing the right thing. She's always showing up and she's always supporting women, right? So we love to see these throwbacks and we love to see what she was thinking, what was happening during the time. And guys, she's not new to it. She is really true to it. It was an appearance that highlighted her unwavering commitment to using her platform to speak up for those without a voice and to ensure that women everywhere are uplifted. So when we see Meghan going out with the Altadena girl, and I was listening to the 14-year-old talking about her admiration for Meghan and how Meghan showed up and was helping the girls to dress and taking care of themselves, looking good, and just having that feel-good moment, that girly girl moment, and she was just there empowering them. I'm like, yes, this is a story we need. We don't need all the nastiness. We need good story about Meghan because Meghan is a good person. So today we're going to reflect on the powerful words she shared as Princess Meghan reminded us of the significance. This was a little after Harry, of course, but she wasn't married as yet, right? But I'm calling her Princess Meghan because she's Princess Meghan right now, right? Reminded us of the significance of having a seat at the table. Women need to have a seat at the table. Representation matters, guys. When we see more of us, we believe that we can do it. And how empowering women helps entire communities thrive. And we love that word, definitely.
It's very important to shift this idea that, one would say, okay, you're coming on to Larry King, and you're doing politicking, so maybe wear a blazer and play the opposite and make sure you can be taken seriously. My point in all of this is that no matter what you look like, you should be taken seriously. And I think it's very important. And for me also, I think it's really great to be able to be a feminist and be feminine, to embrace both.
Is feminism still a good... I'm a feminist. I've been a feminist all my life.
That's fantastic.
It's still a good word?
Yes, it's not the F word.
I don't hear about it. I don't hear it said much as it used to be.
Well, I think it had...
Gloria Steinem in her prime.
Of course. I mean, I think that it's really shifted because at the onset it was getting a bad rap and seemed to be like women burning their bras, and this perception of how it's evolved since then has changed. And last year, I think it was sort of a of the moment kind of word that people were trying to define a bit more and to embrace it again in a different way, to not have some sort of negative connotation with it. I don't think there's anything negative about being a feminist. It's a website, yes. And it was also actually just thetig.com. And it's actually where UN Women reached out to me because I had written a think piece about the same sort of things we're talking about, right? About women's inequality and hoping to find a way to find self-empowerment. And because they had read this piece, they ended up saying, we would really like to work with you.
What is UN Women?
UN Women is a branch, obviously, of the United Nations, but I think as it being a young organization, what they've really been striving to do between the He for She campaign and then, of course, the work that I'm doing with them, which is specifically trying to find women in political positions, be it from a grassroots leadership level or beyond that, to say we need to have a seat at the table and we need to be leaders that are really comfortable having our voices heard, because when women are uplifted, the entire community is.
Being in a position where, this is what Meghan was saying, being in a position where you have the opportunity to amplify voices that might otherwise be ignored is something I take very seriously. It's so important to not just sit in the room, but to make sure that when we are in those spaces, we are using our voices for good, for those who can't be heard, right? So a lot of time, if you're in a position and you have a platform and you have a voice, use it. Use it for the underserved, for the people that don't have that voice, that cannot feel empowered to use their voice. If you can do it, because at the end of the day. We have women who are forged the way for us. We have people who, because of them, women can vote today. Women can use their own credit card. Women can make their own decisions, right? And it was because of the, we know about the Suffrage Act. We know about women that stood up for us. So there's so many women in history that we can talk about, right? Because when women are uplifted, when we have the opportunity to step into leadership roles, the whole community benefits, right? So that is what Meghan is saying, guys. When we're in that position, the whole of us benefit, yes.
And promoting their self-worth. How do you hope to continue that work with the Royal Foundation?
Yes, I mean, I think that knowing that I've just been here for 3 months, right? And in that amount of time, but with that said, for me, it's very important to, once you hit the ground running, even if you're doing it quietly behind the scenes, which is what I've focused my energy on thus far, is meeting with the right people, meeting with the right organizations behind the scenes quietly, learning as much as I can so that I can maximize the opportunity we have here to really make an impact. I think what's interesting is I hear a lot of people saying, when speaking about girls' empowerment, finding and knowing their worth, or women's empowerment as well, you'll often hear people say, well, you're helping women find their voices. And I fundamentally disagree with that, because women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice, they need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen. And I think right now in the climate that we're seeing with so many campaigns, I mean, with Me Too and Time's Up, there is no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them, men included in that. I mean, it makes such a tremendous difference. So, I guess we wait a couple months and then we can hit the ground running. But up until then, I'm pretty excited.
But like you said, I mean, you've been here for 3 years. Yeah, wedding first. Get that done.
We
but
can multitask.
Having said that, you have been quietly, like you say, behind the scenes, let's just say laying the foundations for your future work. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sadly, I can't. But I will say, if we know how, and I certainly know how passionate I am, and Harry and I see the world so similarly in our approach of being very hands-on with things, what I can say is that I have been fortunate enough to meet with some incredible women and organizations in general in the UK that are doing work here, but then also knowing that some of the work that I've done in the past has been in Commonwealth countries like Rwanda, India. So this reach, I think, can have some really nice legs to it once we can start. But
After
I guess,
May.
yes, exactly, to be continued.
Okay.
Meghan Markle, who had been a vocal advocate for gender equality and social justice long before, let me repeat that, long before becoming a member of the British royal family, used her platform to highlight the importance of inclusivity in spaces of power. Her conversation with Larry King was not just about her personal journey, but also about the collective effort needed to create meaningful change. She emphasized that society must make room for diverse perspectives and voices, particularly those of women who have been historically marginalized. And this is what Meghan is saying, right? I think about how many women around the world do not have access to the same privileges that many of us take for granted. They don't have access to education, resources, or even the basic human rights that we do. And when women are in positions of power, when we're advocating for ourselves and for others, we're able to shift the conversation. We need to make sure there is room at the table for everyone. Meghan's words resonate deeply, especially considering the context in which they were shared. At that time, the world was still grappling with the challenges of inequality. I mean, we're still challenged by these, right? Inequality, discrimination, and the ongoing fight for gender parity. Meghan's advocacy is not simply for the betterment of women in the Western world, but for women everywhere, from those in rural areas to those in conflict zones, from entrepreneurs to homemakers. It's a universal call for unity, recognition, and empowerment. The simple yet profound idea that when one woman rises, it lifts the whole community. I've always believed that when you allow women to speak up, when you allow them to lead and be heard, everyone benefits. The world benefits. It's not just a gender issue, it's a human issue. It's about equality, it's about respect, and ultimately, it's about justice. So Meghan is saying here that it's not just a woman's fight. Men must fight for it as well because they have their mother, their wives, their children, their girls. Men must fight for it. It's supposed to be a human conversation, a human issue. Everybody should be striving for equality, for respect, and ultimately, what is the justice there, right? So everyone should be striving for those things and thriving in this society, right? What stands out in Meghan's statement is the urgency behind her message. She's not simply advocating for women's empowerment in an abstract sense. She's calling for action. This wasn't just about women in high-profile positions or those with wealth and influence, but about the women who are often overlooked and silenced. Meghan stressed the importance of amplifying their voices and ensuring they have the same access to opportunities as anyone else. It's about representation. We talk about this all the time. Representation matters. When you see someone like you who looks like you, then you're more inclined to want to achieve and accelerate and want to be in that position, right? So representation matters. So she went on to say, we have to be able to see people like us in the room. And when we see people like us in the room, we hope to God that they're making right decisions for us, right? That's how we start to dismantle the barriers that have held us back for so long. Whether it's in the workplace, in politics, or in media, when women are represented, it sets the tone for future generations. We need women not just to be present, but to be active participants in shaping the future. Very pivotal and poignant word in here. Meghan is such a wise person. She knows what she's talking about and she wants us to live in a better world and she wants to create a better life for women and everyone involved, right? Meghan's words are a call to action, urging society to prioritize the needs of women and to ensure they have equal opportunities for success. Her passion for social change and equality fuels her drive to speak out for those who are too often unheard. As someone who has lived through the challenges of public life, being scrutinized for both her identity and her role within the royal family, Meghan understands the importance of resilience and the strength that comes from supporting one another. If we are truly going to make progress, we need to ensure that women are part of the decision-making process in all areas of life. Whether it's policy or business or social reform, we need to include women in those conversations. We elevate the entire community. So she's saying, guys, when we include, whether it's policy, business, social reform, when we include women in those conversations, we elevate the entire community. And that's what I'm passionate about, changing the narrative for the better. Meghan's words underline a key point, the idea that women's issues are not just women's issues. They are societal issues that affect everyone. When women thrive, communities thrive, and societies prosper. Whether it's ensuring girls have access to education, advocating for maternal health care, or fighting for economic equality, Meghan believes that uplifting women ultimately strengthens society as a whole. Her call for inclusivity at the table is not just about securing a place for women, but ensuring that their voices are heard and valued, that they contribute to building a future we all deserve. And this is one of the things she had said as well. I'm lucky to have a platform, and I want to use it responsibly. We all have a responsibility, really, to help shape the world for the better. And when we invest in women, we're investing in the future. In a world where inequalities still exist in many forms today, Meghan's message remains a beacon of hope. It is a reminder that every woman deserves a seat at the table, a chance to be heard, and an opportunity to lead. When we uplift the voiceless, we uplift society as a whole. Meghan Markle's words on Larry King Live stand as a powerful statement about the importance of supporting and empowering women. Her advocacy for equality continues to inspire people all around the world, leaving a legacy of leadership, compassion, and hope for future generations. When women rise, the world rises with them. Meghan Markle continues to advocate for a future where all voices, particularly those of women, are heard and celebrated. It's a future where justice, equality, and respect are not just ideals, but lived realities. So, guys, remember when she also said, women don't need, when they said, but you're helping women to use their voice. And she said, no, women don't need that. Women already have a voice. They just need to feel empowered, and people need to be encouraged to listen to them. So what she's saying, women already have a voice. God gave us all a voice. But then women need to feel empowered, and people need to be respectful and listen to what women are saying. So guys, that's what I wanted to bring you. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you never miss a beat. Bye.